The night sky has always been a canvas for human dreams, a vast tapestry of stars that whispered of possibilities beyond our reach. For centuries, we gazed upward, wondering if we were alone. On September 16th, 2025, that question was answered in a way that shook the foundations of our world. An interstellar object cataloged as 3I/Atlas wasn't just another cosmic wanderer passing through our solar system. It carried a message, a deliberate, unmistakable signal from an intelligence beyond our own. This wasn't a random burst of static or a fleeting anomaly. It was a structured transmission, laced with mathematical precision, that pierced the silence of the cosmos and landed squarely in our collective consciousness. Astronomers first spotted 3I/Atlas in early 2025, its trajectory sparking curiosity due to its unusual speed and reflective properties. Unlike comets or asteroids born within our solar system, this object hailed from the interstellar void, a traveler from another star. Its path was already enigmatic, defying easy explanation with slight deviations that puzzled scientists. But when observatories, including the Rubin Observatory, captured high-resolution images and detected a repeating signal embedded in its emissions, the world paused. The signal wasn't noise, it was a sequence, a pattern woven with ratios and harmonics that mirrored constants like pi and the golden ratio, universal markers that no natural process could replicate. This was no accident. Something or someone had sent it. The moment the signal was decoded, a shiver ran through humanity. It wasn't just the confirmation of extraterrestrial intelligence, it was the realization that this intelligence knew we were here. They had crafted a message we could understand, implying they had studied us, observed our mathematical frameworks, and tailored their communication to our minds. The implications were staggering. We weren't just receiving a cosmic postcard, we were being addressed. The question wasn't whether we were alone anymore, it was what they wanted from us. Imagine standing on the edge of a cliff, staring into an abyss that suddenly stares back. That's what the signal from 3I/Atlas felt like. The transmission wasn't a warm greeting or a clear directive. It was layered, complex, almost like a puzzle designed to test our comprehension. Cryptographers and astrophysicists worked tirelessly, peeling back its structure to reveal patterns within patterns, each more intricate than the last. It was as if the senders were gauging our intelligence, waiting to see if we could keep up. This wasn't a one-way broadcast. It felt like the opening move in a game we didn't yet understand. The scientific community buzzed with a mix of exhilaration and dread. This was the discovery of a lifetime, proof that life, intelligent life, thrived beyond Earth. But the ambiguity of the message cast a long shadow. Was it a welcome? A warning? A test? The absence of a follow-up signal only deepened the unease. If they wanted a conversation, why the silence? Some speculated the message was a beacon, activated only when 3I/Atlas passed close enough to Earth to ensure delivery. Others feared it was a deliberate challenge, a way to measure our response before deciding their next move. The silence that followed wasn't empty, it was heavy with possibilities, each more unsettling than the last. The object itself became a focal point of scrutiny. 3I/Atlas, roughly 200 meters long, didn't behave like a typical comet. Its brightness suggested a surface more reflective than expected, and its trajectory hinted at course corrections too precise for a natural body. Early theories about outgassing, where comets release gas to alter their path, fell apart under closer analysis. The signal's confirmation pushed scientists to reconsider, what if 3I/Atlas wasn't a rock at all, but a crafted probe disguised to blend into the cosmic background? The idea wasn't new. Similar speculation surrounded Oumuamua, the first interstellar object detected in 2017. But now, with a signal to back it up, the notion of an artificial origin felt less like science fiction and more like a chilling reality. The signal forced humanity to confront its place in the universe. For millennia, we'd built narratives around our uniqueness, casting ourselves as the protagonists of a cosmic story. Religions, philosophies, and cultures placed Earth at the center, a singular miracle in a silent universe. 3I/Atlas shattered that illusion with ruthless efficiency. We weren't alone, and we weren't special. The transmission suggested a civilization so advanced it could send a message across light years, time to reach us when we were just capable enough to decode it. That precision hinted at surveillance, a possibility that turned wonder into fear. Had they been watching us? For how long? And why now? The timing felt deliberate. In 2025, humanity stands on the cusp of its own interstellar ambitions. NASA's Perseverance Perseverance rover continues to explore Mars, private companies like SpaceX push for lunar and Martian colonies, and projects like Breakthrough Starshot aim to send probes to nearby stars. We're broadcasting radio waves, experimenting with AI, and inching toward technologies that could make us visible across the galaxy. The signal's arrival at this moment felt like a cosmic checkpoint, as if someone had been waiting for us to reach this stage before making contact. It was less an invitation and more a reminder we weren't the only ones playing this game. The psychological impact rippled through society. People looked at the night sky differently, each star now a potential origin, each shadow a possible pathway. The romantic allure of the cosmos gave way to a watchfulness born of vulnerability. Social media platforms like X exploded with reactions. Posts ranging from awe-inspired art to doomsday predictions. Memes juxtaposed UFOs with nervous laughter, while scientists and philosophers debated in real-time threads. The cultural shift was immediate. Movies, music, and literature began reflecting this new reality, grappling with humanity's place in a universe that was no longer ours alone. Astronomers turned their telescopes toward 3I/Atlas with renewed urgency. The object's trajectory, projected to exit our solar system by mid-2026, offered a fleeting window to study it. The James Webb Space Telescope captured spectral data, suggesting a composition unlike any known comet, with traces of materials that defied easy classification. Was it a natural body with anomalous properties, or something engineered to mimic one? The signal's mathematical structure fueled speculation that 3I/Atlas was a probe, its reflective surface perhaps a solar sail, or an antenna designed to broadcast its message as it passed Earth. The transmission itself was a marvel. Encoded in radio waves, it repeated every 47 minutes, a cycle that aligned with no known natural phenomenon. Its core sequence, built on mathematical constants, was universal enough to be deciphered by any species with a grasp of basic geometry. But deeper layers revealed complexity, fractal patterns, and recursive structures that suggested a message within a message. Cryptographers likened it to a compressed file, designed to unfold only with persistent effort. Some argued it was a test of intelligence. Others feared it was a lure, drawing us into a trap we couldn't yet see. The scientific community faced a paradox. The signal was a treasure trove of knowledge, but its ambiguity made every discovery a risk. If it contained advanced science or technology, decoding it could catapult human progress forward. But what if it was a Trojan horse, designed to manipulate or mislead? The debate spilled into public forums, with voices on X calling for open source analysis to ensure transparency, while others urged caution, fearing unintended consequences. Governments, meanwhile, grappled with the balance between secrecy and global cooperation, each nation wary of losing an edge in a cosmic race none fully understood. The signal's impact transcended science, reshaping every facet of human life. Philosophers questioned what it meant to be human in a universe shared with others. Were our creativity, our wars, our art just echoes of a larger galactic pattern? Religious leaders grappled with the implications, some seeing divine confirmation in the abundance of life, others wrestling with the challenge to human exceptionalism. Environmentalists argued that our treatment of Earth, deforestation, pollution, conflict, might now be judged by unseen observers, urging a re-evaluation of our planetary stewardship. Geopolitically, the signal exposed humanity's divisions. Some nations saw it as a security threat, redirecting resources to monitor the skies for further signals. Others pushed for a unified global response, arguing that no single country could claim ownership of a cosmic event. The United Nations held emergency sessions, but consensus was elusive. Posts on X revealed a split in public sentiment. Some demanded full disclosure, others feared it would spark panic. The tension underscored a harsh truth. Even in the face of a universal revelation, humanity's instinct to compete persisted. For individuals, the signal was deeply personal. Parents wondered what kind of future their children would inherit, a world connected to the stars or one overshadowed by cosmic unknowns. Artists poured their fears and hopes into new works, from haunting symphonies to paintings of humanity dwarfed by vast alien figures. Social media became a canvas for collective processing, with hashtags like #3iAtlas and #CosmicSignal trending globally. People shared stories of sleepless nights, staring at the stars, wondering if they were being watched. Perhaps the most haunting aspect of the signal was the silence that followed. No second transmission came, no clarification, no dialogue. 3i/Atlas continued its journey, its message delivered, leaving humanity to wrestle with the void. Was the silence intentional, a test of our response? Or was the signal a relic sent by a civilization long extinct, its purpose lost to time? The lack of answers fueled both hope and fear. Some saw it as an opportunity to prove our worth, to show we could rise to the challenge. Others feared it was a warning, a sign that we'd been noticed and judged. The silence forced us to confront our own actions. For decades, we debated whether to broadcast our presence to the stars. Projects like SETI's METI, messaging extraterrestrial intelligence, had sent signals toward distant systems, hoping to make contact. Now, with proof that others could find us first, those efforts felt reckless. Should we stay silent, hoping to avoid further attention? Or should we respond, risking consequences we couldn't predict? The decision wasn't just scientific, it was existential, a choice about humanity's role in a universe we no longer controlled. The signal from 3i/Atlas didn't just confirm the existence of extraterrestrial intelligence, it forced us to grapple with our place in a cosmic hierarchy we hadn't known existed. The very act of sending a message across interstellar distances spoke of a civilization with technological prowess far beyond our own. Our most advanced probes, like Voyager 1, launched in 1977, have barely reached the edge of our solar system after nearly 5 decades. Yet 3i/Atlas, if it was indeed a probe, had traversed light years, carrying a signal designed to be understood by a species it had never met. This disparity in capability wasn't just humbling, it was a stark reminder of our vulnerability. If they could reach us with such precision, what else could they do? The imagination spiraled into visions of starships, energy manipulation, or even planetary engineering, technologies that made our nuclear arsenals and space stations seem like children's toys. The fear wasn't just of their existence, but of their potential to reshape our reality without warning. This realization sparked heated debates on platforms like X, where users speculated about whether we were infants in a galactic nursery or unwitting pawns in a larger game. The signal's structure, with its layered complexity, suggested a civilization that didn't just communicate but anticipated our response, as if they were testing our readiness to join a broader cosmic community or judging whether we posed a threat. The absence of further signals only deepened the mystery, leaving us to wonder if we were being evaluated for our silence, our curiosity, or our divisions. The signal also reshaped our understanding of time and purpose on a cosmic scale. Humanity measures history in decades or centuries, with our oldest civilization spanning mere thousands of years. The transmission from 3i/Atlas, however, implied a civilization that thought in eons. If the object was a probe, its journey could have begun millions of years ago, launched by beings who planned across timescales that dwarfed human history. The pyramids, the Renaissance, the digital age, all would be fleeting moments to a culture capable of such foresight. This perspective forced us to confront the fragility of our achievements. Our skyscrapers and satellites, so monumental to us, were but brief sparks in a universe where others might measure progress in the rise and fall of stars. On X, philosophers and scientists alike posted about this temporal disconnect, questioning whether the signal was a relic from a now extinct species or a message from one so enduring it could afford to wait millennia for a reply. The idea that we might be receiving an echo from a lost civilization was both haunting and humbling, suggesting that even great intelligences could fade into the cosmic background. Alternatively, if the sender still existed, their patience implied a purpose we couldn't yet grasp, perhaps a long-term experiment, with Earth as one data point among countless others. This shift in temporal perspective seeped into everyday life, making people question the urgency of their daily struggles. If our actions were being watched across eons, what did our fleeting conflicts or ambitions mean? The signal didn't just challenge our technology, it challenged our sense of purpose, forcing us to ask whether we were building something lasting or merely shouting into a void that had already heard us. Beyond science and philosophy, the signal from 3i/Atlas introduced a new ethical imperative that permeated global discourse. If we were no longer alone, our actions on Earth took on a new weight, as if we were performing on a galactic stage. Environmentalists, ethicists, and activists on platforms like X argued that our treatment of our planet, its ecosystems ravaged by deforestation, its oceans choked with plastic, its atmosphere warmed by unchecked emissions, might be seen as a reflection of our maturity as a species. species. The signal suggested we were being observed, perhaps judged, by a civilization that had mastered interstellar travel. What kind of impression were we making? Were our wars, our inequalities, our reckless consumption signals of a species unworthy of cosmic dialogue? This fear of cosmic judgment sparked movements for change, with hashtags like Earth's reputation trending as people called for sustainability and unity. The signal also raised questions about our own attempts to reach out. Projects like METI had sent radio signals to nearby stars, but now, with proof that others could find us, the ethics of broadcasting our presence became a global debate. Should we continue to announce ourselves, risking attention from entities whose intentions we couldn't predict? Or should we adopt a policy of cosmic caution, hiding in the shadows until we better understood the rules of this new universe? These questions weren't just academic, they were moral, forcing humanity to weigh curiosity against survival. The signal had turned Earth into a classroom, with every choice a test of our readiness to join a larger cosmic narrative. The signal from 3I/Atlas ignited a cultural reawakening that swept across the globe, transforming how humanity expressed its hopes, fears, and aspirations. Artists, writers, and musicians became the interpreters of this new reality, channeling the collective awe and anxiety into works that resonated deeply. Painters depicted surreal visions of interstellar travelers, their canvases blending human forms with alien geometries, as if to bridge the gap between our world and theirs. Musicians composed symphonies that wove the signal's mathematical rhythms into haunting melodies, evoking the vastness of space and the weight of the unknown. Literature exploded with novels and short stories imagining first contact scenarios, from utopian alliances to dystopian invasions, each reflecting a facet of humanity's fractured response. On X, creators shared digital art and poetry under hashtags like #Atlas Awakening, turning social media into a global gallery of cosmic reflection. Film studios rushed to produce blockbusters that reimagined humanity's role in the universe, moving away from the lone hero narratives of the past to stories of collective survival and adaptation. This cultural outpouring wasn't just entertainment, it was a way for society to process the existential shift, to grapple with the knowledge that our stories were no longer confined to Earth. The signal had unleashed a creative renaissance, but it was tinged with urgency, as if every brushstroke, note, or word was a plea to define humanity's worth before the cosmos judged us. This reawakening also sparked a renewed interest in ancient myths and philosophies, as people sought to connect the signal to humanity's oldest questions about existence. Were our ancestors' tales of sky beings' early encounters with intelligences like those behind 3I/Atlas? These questions fueled discussions in classrooms, online forums, and late-night conversations, blending the ancient with the futuristic in a search for meaning. The signal's complexity didn't just challenge our understanding, it spurred a technological leap forward that reshaped scientific priorities. Laboratories worldwide redirected resources to decode the transmission's deeper layers, which hinted at principles of physics and mathematics beyond our current grasp. Some researchers speculated that the signal's recursive structures could unlock new approaches to quantum computing or energy transfer, potentially revolutionizing technology. On X, scientists shared open-source analyses, crowdsourcing insights from global experts to accelerate progress. Observatories upgraded their instruments, with projects like the Square Kilometer Array intensifying efforts to scan for additional signals. The urgency to understand 3I/Atlas drove innovations in artificial intelligence, as algorithms were developed to parse the transmission's fractal patterns, revealing glimpses of a science that seemed to bend the laws of reality as we knew them. Yet this technological race carried risks. The fear that the signal might contain manipulative code or harmful instructions led to heated debates about whether to fully decode it. Some argued for a cautious approach, comparing it to opening an unknown file from an untrusted source. Others saw it as a chance to leap centuries ahead, willing to take the gamble. Governments poured funding into space exploration, with NASA and the European Space Agency accelerating plans for interstellar probes, hoping to match even a fraction of the sender's capabilities. The signal had turned science into a high-stakes endeavor, where every discovery could either elevate humanity or expose its vulnerabilities. This technological push also reshaped education, with universities introducing courses on exolinguistics and cosmic ethics, preparing a new generation to navigate a universe where contact was no longer theoretical. The signal had become a catalyst, forcing humanity to evolve not just technologically, but intellectually, as we raced to prove we could keep up with those who had reached us first. Perhaps the most profound impact of the 3I/Atlas signal was the existential mirror it held up to humanity. For the first time, we were forced to see ourselves not as the pinnacle of creation, but as one species among many, potentially insignificant in the grand tapestry of the cosmos. This realization cut deeper than any technological or scientific challenge, striking at the core of human identity. Philosophers on X posed questions that echoed through society. If we are not unique, what defines us? Is it our capacity for love, our penchant for conflict, our relentless curiosity, or are these traits merely echoes of a universal pattern repeated across countless worlds? The signal forced us to confront our flaws, our divisions, our greed, our short-sightedness, and ask whether we were worthy of a place in a galactic community. Psychologists noted a surge in existential anxiety as people grappled with the idea that our entire history might be a footnote to a civilization that had mastered the stars. Yet this mirror also offered hope. The signal suggested that intelligence could survive and thrive across eons, implying that humanity too could aspire to such longevity if we could overcome our self-imposed limits. Grassroots movements emerged, calling for global unity and sustainable progress, driven by the fear that our cosmic neighbors were watching. The signal became a lens through which we re-examined every aspect of our existence, from how we educate our children to how we resolve conflicts. It challenged us to redefine progress, not as economic or military dominance, but as the ability to coexist with each other and with a universe that had revealed itself to be alive with intention. This existential reckoning wasn't just a crisis, it was an opportunity to rewrite our story, to decide whether we would rise to meet the challenge or falter under the weight of our own shortcomings. The signal from 3I/Atlas didn't just confirm extraterrestrial intelligence, it redefined our relationship with the cosmos. The universe was no longer a frontier to conquer, but an arena where we were players, watched and perhaps judged. Every telescope, every probe, every equation took on new weight. Astronomy became a matter of survival, not just curiosity. The stars, once symbols of wonder, now carried the weight of expectation. This moment marks a turning point. We can't go back to the comforting illusion of solitude. The signal has drawn a line across human history, before contact and after. It challenges us to ask who we are, not just as individuals or nations, but as a species. Are we ready to step into a larger galactic story? Can we unite in the face of the unknown, or will our divisions define us? The answers lie not in the stars, but in our choices here on Earth. What do you think the signal means? Is it a greeting, a test, or something else entirely? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep this conversation alive. If this story resonates with you, give it a thumbs up and share it with others. Together, we can explore what it means to be human in a universe that's no longer silent.